device finally arrived in the Quick Expert Reviews office, and to be honest, I was looking forward to it, especially due to the quad camera setup of the handset itself. And after the last A-series phone I've reviewed, which was an A6, and in my opinion it was a major disappointment. Well, to me it was a major disappointment. I was really looking forward to the new flagship A-series handset. And yeah, more on that in the actual review. But well, let's start with the usual unboxing. So we've got the quick start guide, which basically explains to us where to put the SIM card, where to put the memory card, how to charge the device via its Type-C connector, obviously a warranty guard to your warranty in Europe, Type-C cable in the box, headphones with a built-in microphone, which is always a nice addition. And then we've got the Samsung charger as well, adaptive fast charging, so yes, it does support fast charging. And then we've got the rubber earbuds. Now the phone itself, and especially in, I think it's called yes, it is called lemonade blue color, looks pretty nice. It actually looks beautiful. Yeah, I really like the color gradient of this handset. Yes, I am pretty impressed with that. As impressed as I was with the Exit 3. Then obviously we've got the quad camera setup, LED flash, the fingerprint sensor, and on the front we've got the 24 megapixel camera. On the top we've got a SIM tray, memory card tray, volume up, volume down, power button, headphone jack, a speaker, and the Type-C on the bottom. On the front, 24 megapixel camera. So the actual handset itself, knowing Samsung, probably won't be running on the latest greatest Android. And let's have a look. Yeah, I was pretty excited there because it says Samsung Experience 9 and I thought it's the Android, but no, it's actually the OS is on 8.0, not even 8.1. So considering the handset was released just recently and costs around £519, that's a bit of a disappointment. Now, in terms of the positives, you do get 128 gigabytes of internal storage, obviously expandable up to 512. So that's nice. The handset I've got for the review is has 6 gigabytes of RAM, but you can get up to 8. So it looks like it is a direct OnePlus 660 competitor in terms of pricing at least, and the storage options and RAM. But at the same time, the Snapdragon 660 doesn't really cut it when you pair it against the 845. So yeah, they had to cut the costs somewhere. Now in terms of the camera setup, you get the 24 megapixel camera, which is, or actually let's go from the bottom. So on the very bottom we've got the 5 megapixel camera, which is used for live focus with an f-stop 2.2. live focus is a Samsung take on the portrait mode. Then we've got the main camera going upwards with 24 megapixels, f-stop 1.7. Telephoto camera, which is 10 megapixels with an f-stop 2.4 and twice dual 2 times optical zoom. And on the very top, ultra wide camera with 8 megapixels, f-stop 2.4. And like I did mention, then there is the front facing 2.4, yes, f-stop 24 megapixel camera. Now in terms of like the security, you can unlock the phone like I showed you with a fingerprint sensor, but it also does have a face recognition, which is a bit of a hit and miss, like it was on my Samsung Galaxy S4 Tab, and it actually still is. Now at least you do get a fingerprint sensor in here. On the Samsung Tab I'm stuck with the face and iris scanner. Now in terms of the phone itself, pretty hefty battery, 13,800 mAh, and it does actually last 2 days on one charge, which is obviously supported by fast charging, so that is actually nice. So yes, there are, like, to be honest, if it wouldn't be for the processor, it would be a really good alternative to a OnePlus, but at the same time, you can buy a brand new Samsung Galaxy S8 with a Snapdragon 835, and you know, the facial recognition, fingerprint scanner, expandable memory, obviously a bit less RAM, maybe a smaller display because this is 6.3 inch, but obviously, as it is, the S8 is a more of a flagship device, and it actually supports Samsung Gear VR, for example, and so on, so on. So yeah, it is nice that the phone itself, even though it runs on Android 8.0, does have quite a lot of features built in. Like you did see the game mode, which does allow you to aggregate all the games in one place. Then obviously you've got the usual Samsung Flair with additional features like the equivalent of reachability, where you can resize the screen, which isn't that easy to hold. I know they call it infinity display, but it actually isn't that much of a bezel-less display. You do have those bezels on the sides. It's not like with the S8 or the S9 where you've got curved sides. So it is a big screen, but you do need to have long fingers or fat fingers like me to actually reach to the very top. In terms of the camera, you do get the camera samples obviously at the very end of the video. In terms of the video capabilities of this phone, you can record in 4K, but there is sadly no optical image stabilization in this phone. So as again, they had to cut the cost somewhere, and sadly the OIS is not there. Now, the live focus, the portrait mode, is a bit of a hit and miss, as you can see in the bottom right corner. It took me a while to figure it out, to be honest. It's not as good as on the, for example, Huawei P20 Pro, Mate 20 Pro, or even iPhone or Pixels. So yeah, back to the drawing board with that. But at the same time, you do get the super slow-mo, which is a nice addition, 960 frames per second. But again, it's not of the Sony XZ3 quality of 1080p. It's only 720p, so that's that. Selfies, you can kind of do the live focus on the selfies, but it doesn't blur the background as nicely as, for example, the Pixels. So a bit, again, a hit or miss in regards to the handset itself. Do I like it? It's not as disappointing as the A6, but at the same time, it's really hard to recommend that, especially then when for the half price of that you can get the Poco Phone F1, which hopefully I should be able to review very shortly. And then in the same price range, you've got the OnePlus, which is a way better device in my opinion, even though it only has dual camera setup on the back. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what is Samsung trying with this handset. I really tried to like it, especially, okay, I'm not a big fan of the Samsung handsets, but I felt in love with the S4 Tab. So I thought, and I actually did even like the Note 9, so I thought that maybe, just maybe, the A flagship series handset will impress me, but sadly that's not the case due to the medical process. I know it's a Snapdragon 660 and it kind of runs circles around most of the SoCs anyway, but I think I was expecting a bit more from the OnePlus competitor. So thanks for watching another episode of Quick Expert Reviews, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye.